Hello, everyone. This is recording number 15 for Aristotle, a class on the Nicomachean Ethics. We are still talking about Aristotle's conception of ethics, as it is described in Book 1, Chapter 3. Today's focus is on Aristotle's response to the Sophists. Now, why would we think that Nicomachean Ethics, Book 1, Chapter 3 contains such a response? Well, the simple answer is that Aristotle phrases a position that he responds to in terms of what is by convention and what is by nature. And that terminology is associated with the Sophists. Let me explain. Who are the Sophists? Some of them are famous and distinguished philosophers. As a group, as it were, they are associated with a few ideas. And one of them presumably goes back to their kind of way of life. They are something like traveling educators, intellectuals, thinkers who move from city to city. And they take it that when they come to a place, it really is striking how committed people are to their way of life. People not only think that their customs and laws are right, they think that their customs and laws are naturally right, where that means that everyone should live like that. But well, people at the next place hold the same attitudes to their customs and laws. So the Sophists infer that, in fact, nothing is by nature right and just and so on. Rather, everything is by convention. And that is a position that Aristotle mentions in Nicomachean Ethics, Book 1, Chapter 3. So, what is it that Aristotle says? He talks about things that are fine and just. And roughly, you may think that is the domain of social and political norms, customs, laws, and so on. So, he says that this domain of what is fine and just displays difference and variability. And hence, it can seem that things are merely by convention and not by nature. Now, to whom does it seem that way? To the Sophists. And Aristotle's audience would know that because that kind of idea is strongly associated with the Sophists. So, what is Aristotle's own stance? Interestingly, he does not dispute that the domain of what is fine and just displays difference and variability. So that is, in fact, significant common ground. But he does not discuss here what he thinks further about the fine and the just. And presumably that would be a distraction. His topic here is goodness. He is introducing his ideas in ethics, and the core term here is goodness. So he says that something like the variability that comes up in this kind of other position about the fine and the just, something like that variability also comes up in good things, which can damage a person. And his example is that some people have perished on account of their wealth. And you might think another example could be that, well, here's a person and she is strong. That's a good thing. But maybe then she is selected as a tyrant's personal god on account of her strength. So her strength would work against her. That is the idea of variability. It is a quite distinctive phenomenon of a kind of value reversal. Something that is typically good turns out to be bad. And that is the moment in the Nicomachean Ethics where Aristotle introduces this term that we have already discussed in the two previous recordings, that things can be for the most part. And now he introduces that notion with a view to goodness. So I want to leave you with a question. And the question is whether the takeaway should be that some things that are good are merely for the most part good, Or is Aristotle saying that whatever it is that is good, all good things are merely for the most part